Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Robot Damacy Robot Spirits number 125 Ultron Gundam. And it doesn't say Kai or Custom on his name because he's brand new. He is the one that replaced Shenlong, even though they are remarked now that they announced Death Scythe, regular Death Scythe. But for now we're going to look at Ultron right here, which is pretty awesome. I didn't originally like this guy as much as Shenlong, but now I like him even more. Looks very cool. Alright, let's take this guy out of the tray and see what we can see. Very nice look to this guy. Definitely a little asymmetrical with the shield on the shoulder pad. A little unorthodox having the little dragon heads on his arms, but still a very nice look. Really good composition. Not quite as much color going on throughout. Yeah, he's got green and red and gold, but not quite as much throughout as maybe Sandrock, but still very nicely done. And this guy does have some good size to him too. He might be as tall as Sandrock. I said Sandrock was one of the taller ones in his review, but I think this guy might be just as tall. Let's take a look. He stands, nope, he's a little shorter, about 5.5. So I was right the first time. He's a little bit shorter, but still very cool with that four-pointed crown. Little bit of a different design for this guy all around. Very nice looking. Kind of has like oh, forget it, I don't know. I can't talk. Alright, so let's take a look at the figure before we go through the accessories. Very much appreciated. You can see his face. All the details are there. Maybe a bit stylized compared to the anime, but still looks pretty damn good. Alright, the articulation for the head, as you would expect. The neck is on a double ball peg, the head is as well, so full range of motion there. He does have a bit of a collar around his neck, that's part of the neck sculpt itself, so it's somewhat limited, and he does also have these little things going next to his head, so again, a little bit limited, but you can still get a pretty darn good range of motion out of him, especially if you put the effort into it. So really no issues there, no limitations worth mentioning. Now the shoulders, on the other hand, we're going to have to talk about them for a little bit. He does have, no he doesn't. They had to work a little differently on this guy, come on. So this ball socket here has a hinge in it, so it butterflies up and down a little bit. I don't really know why they bothered, what the purpose of that is really, but it is there. Alright, now these shoulders, we can go ahead and just pop it back on because I don't need it off to show you. Of course, probably wondering, what the hell? What is that? What's all that baloney? What's all that going on there? And that is just because he has the dragon thingy, but we're going to get to that in a second. Alright, we can actually just mention the shield now. The shield's on this little tiny hinge. You can unclip that if you want to, or you can just undo the shield itself. Like that. Leave the ball peg on there if you want to. If you don't want to, it's just a little clip and you can unclip it. And he can hold that in one of his hands. I guess I can just show you that right now. He has a hand made specifically for that. He's got the little groove in the hand, little tab or not, I don't remember. You can put that right there and he can hold that, which is awesome, right? I think it's awesome. So you can do that. Or you can leave it on the shoulder. Now let's talk about the dragon thingy. So the whole thing with the Shenlong is he had the dragon arm extension thingy. I don't know if it has a name or not. It's been a while. This guy has him on both arms, so he looks extra awesome. You can leave it just like this. If you want to put the dragon down, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. Also, just use his arm like a regular arm. It tabs in. The shoulder pad fills with the snaky thing, the dragon thing. He's got pretty much full range of motion. You have to be a little careful in bringing the arm out, but you can get it out pretty far. No real problems. Bicep swivel, everything's there, fairly normal. This has the full swivel. The shoulder pad has the hinge on it. So this is just a whole bunch of hinges that swing out. Oops. And this is the biggest detriment to this figure. I know they had to do it because that's what he's known for. It's still problematic. So you have just a whole bunch of hinges and the dragon arm that extends. And on top of that, you get two sets of these pieces here. So there's 4 in total, and these are just extension pieces with ball peg sockets and ball pegs on the ends, and these just pop apart there and 2 spots, I think up there where I popped it off earlier. So you can extend that, but it gets really long and really skinny, so I don't really care for how, if you want to, they just make those longer. Alright, no big deal. I imagine most people are going to be like me. They're going to fold that up and tab that in. And you can see there's a little tiny ball peg right there and a little tiny socket right there. That helps to hold the arm in place if you want to just use it like a regular arm, which is what I like. And it works well enough to where I'm not going to complain about it. So you have the bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. You can fold the dragons down if you want to give them these cool dragon hand fist thingies, or use their arms with bulky things on them. Hands are just like Sandrock, double ball peg, and the hands pop off, no problem. So it is a little irritating sometimes, but it's not that bad where I don't think you're going to really mind it too much. The torso, he does have the ab crunch. It works a little backwards from normal. The bottom part tucks into the top rather than the other way around, but it is the same type of joint. So he does have the ab crunch. No side to side other than where the torso connects to the crotch. And that gives him the swivel. This guy's swivel works really well, so that's nice. It leans a good degree. Not so much to the sides, just a little bit, but it leans front and back pretty nicely, and you get the better ab crunch. So he really does have a good range of motion there. In fact, I'm not sure, I haven't checked. These front skirts look an awful lot like one of the other ones. I think Wing Zero, but I could be wrong. But either way, they connect with ball pegs just in the side there, so they are fairly posable, and they go up about 90 degrees. Not quite as mobile. They get hit, they get stuck pretty quick. You can want to put them in like a kicking stance. The back piece, again, no good, doesn't have the excuse me. As you saw as I was showing you the skirts, his hips are just like Sandrock's. Ball peg, ball socket, full range of motion. His are not quite as tight, but they're not by any means loose. This is probably like the perfect firmness, I think. The thigh swivel built in, so that's nice, that's dandy. Let's go down to the knees and take a look. He's got these really big bulky knees, but they look cool. And they're double jointed. Not really too much going on in the way of gimmicks like Sandrock's, but his do work just fine. They don't look so bad. I'm okay with them. I don't think this piece moves at all. I haven't been able to get it to do anything special, and I didn't notice it on the instructions, so I think it's just there for looks to fill it in. But it does look pretty good the way it is, so I'm alright with it. He has these cool ankle pieces that have these little fins that stick out. They get in the way a little bit, but it's not horrible. They do have a little bit of motion to them. They're not going to go. I thought they had a little more than that, but maybe they don't. I don't know why I thought that. Whatever. The ankles are basically set up the exact same way as Sandrock. They're not quite the exact same design, but they work just the same. This cover piece is on a ball peg, which is also on a hinge that should go down. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this one's not on a hinge. Okay, I guess it's not. So these are just going to be fairly stationary, unless mine are just stuck. If you have this guy and you know better, let me know. It feels like it's not going anywhere though. Alright, but the ankles, from the ankle itself down, is about the same. It's a hinge that moves the whole foot, then that's a ball peg on top of that, or I guess underneath that. So the foot has great mobility. He has the same swivel in the foot there, and the same toe joint. So overall, pretty good batch of art to complain about. Are these hinged or ball pegged? Doesn't feel like it unless they're both stuck. So that's stationary. Just a really cool looking Gundam though. I'm really happy with this guy. He does have this, which is technically part of his body. So we'll connect that to him. And that goes like this. You can put it different ways technically, but this is how it's supposed to go if memory serves. So you have these wings that rotate this way, and they flap that way, and they extend. So you can pose those however you want to. Pretty much like that, I think, is where they belong. Something that is the holdy piece. That's the official name, by the way, for this. His unextended energy weapons. So you leave that there if you want to. If you don't want to, don't put it there. That's fine. We do also have this dragon tail thingy. Again, I don't know the names offhand, but we have that. It folds down backwards just like in that, and in that, and this one also swivels. So if you want to bring it forward for him to shoot, just spin it around and it'll shoot forward. Fan of Ultron, I think you have to admit that he looks pretty cool. All right, we also have, of course, we have a display stage piece that pegs in. I don't know, just like on Sandrock, if it's necessary. This will peg into that hole right there, and you can put the stage on that. I think you might need it just to clear the skirt. This one here, which is just the single longer blade, it's green. It's actually a pretty nice green. It's not super dark, but it's fairly dark. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's a fairly nice green, and it is nicely translucent. And then we also have this right here, which has the two like sigh-shaped blades, if you want to call them that. And what you do, which one pops off? Is it this one? One of them pops off. So you can clip one hand on here so you can hold it, and then you can slide another hand on here, and then you put that back. That's a good example right there. So you would undo this here, slide the hand up. I haven't tried this yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at the interchangeability. Bam! That didn't even take a couple seconds. That's pretty nice right there. So there you go. That's how it would look. And just for size comparison, it's got some good size to it. Stands way taller than he does with the one piece, and with two pieces it'd be pretty high also. Alright, and then lastly we have to look at the hands. He has two fist hands. They look good either way. And then he has, you saw the hand for holding the shield. That's already on the shield, which I just love that they made a special hand for that with the thumb and everything, so that's nice. We have the two open hands for just looking cool. The jazz hands right there. We have this hand, which I believe is the one you're supposed to slide over the bar when you take the back end of the handle off. It's just a grippy hand. This one too for the other side. You have two open hands that snap onto the middle part of the bar for his weapon. I say snap on just because you would have, well, this is the same hand, but it's just an example, people. He doesn't have two. That would work. Good. And then we have this cool posing hand, which reminds me of Gohan quite a bit, with just the fingers open like that. So as you can see, he may not be the perfect figure with these little dragon arm thingies in his shoulder pads, but he is pretty darn good, and I have to recommend him. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.